Hey, welcome back to another episode of Saran Podcast. I'm your host Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me, social distancing. Trip, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, dude. Just big chilling. Hey, this is our first episode that we're live streaming because we're able to social distance, because we're able to record from our own places. It's given us an opportunity to kind of be present in a new way, and you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes about what we're doing. It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
not a lot, but yeah.
I wasn't for it. I usually pick my nose a lot and like take off my shirt during the podcast when I'm at your place,
which is still going to happen.
No,
but
I can't.
Oh,
what? Not professional.
All right, guys, we're ending the live stream here. Okay, but this week we're talking about all of the winter anime from 2020 that we were able to watch and finish. We're doing our winter anime 2020 wrap up, and then next week we're doing our spring anime 2020 preview.
Yeah, no Kyle's episode because we don't want to buy an extra mic for Kyle.
I'm not fucking anime would need whatever these fuckers are called, whatever the scarlet things that we use.
It's like a fucking thingy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Condenser? Nah, is the condenser this little guy?
Yeah, I think it's a condenser.
I don't know anything. It's not. Yeah,
it's like some sort. It's a doohickey.
It is a doohickey. Yeah. Anyways,
so, man,
what have you been up to? What's good? What's happening?
What's up with me, man? Just fucking indoors. This is the first, I think, time since like self quarantining and whatever this week where like I was fucking really over it. Like I'm like
it hit you hard this week.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, the end of like the beginning of the weekend, and then like the beginning. Today's Monday. We record on Mondays, right? It was
today's
slow
Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday. Oh, right.
You had to cancel it.
I had to
normally record on Monday.
Dude, this one fucking the days are all blurring together. I don't.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's for sure Tuesday.
You know how I know that like I'm over it. I'm not against like working out. Like I'm not someone that's like, hey, you shouldn't work out. But I'm not someone who
is somebody like that.
Some people are fucking assholes.
Okay. All right.
But my stance on working out is more like, hey man, like if that's what you like to do and you enjoy it, like you should do it, right? Like there's some people who take it over the top and go way beyond, but that's their prerogative. And
doesn't need to be your personality, but
absolutely, yeah. But it becomes people's personalities. For me, it's like, I could work out. I just choose not to because I'm okay with like I'm comfortable with this my skin or whatever.
Yeah.
But I literally this weekend I was like, dude, I wanted to lift a weight. Like I wanted to like move my body, right, and like exercise, like and go to the gym. And I was like, why? I haven't gone to the gym in like 3 years.
You shouldn't go to the gym. First,
I know,
off.
absolutely,
absolutely not.
But I wanted to like work out and like I wanted I want to jump on a treadmill. I want to shoot some hoops. I want to do all the things I'm not allowed to do. I'm missing that. And then I quickly snapped out of it because then I realized that's fucking stupid. I don't want to work out. I'm cool with just laying on the couch.
Okay.
I miss movie theaters.
Oh man, that one hits me hard too because it's just that special thing that now you can't do.
Yeah, and it's like you can watch a movie at home, but like I want to be in a theater. I want to hear people like around me. I want to be like, God, I wish that person in the row in front of me shut the fuck up. I want to hear someone laugh really annoyingly.
What you can do is you could just record or you could listen to a recording, put in some headphones, keep it a little bit quiet, and then watch a movie regularly from your TV or whatever.
It's not the same, lights,
man. You get to hear all the people dropping glass bottles in the theater, and you're like, the hell's going on? What are these degenerates doing back there?
I want to sneak in a burrito to the movie theater. I want to like pay $20 for popcorn. I also just want to go to a restaurant and sit down and not eat at home. Like I know I can take food out, but I just want to go to my pho place, and I want the lady from the pho place to look at me and be like, hey, I know exactly what you want. And me go, absolutely.
Hell yeah, dude.
So that hit me, and then I'm over it. I think I'm doing better. I stretched the other day. Like I was like, I just got like.
Yeah, I mean, stretching is important, dude. Especially if you're not getting around at all. It's I
stretched and it felt good. So yeah, that's something. I also considered buying a bicycle, and I was like, why? I fucking hate bicycles.
Why do you hate bicycles?
I'm not very good on bicycles. It's my issue. It's not like the bicycle's fault. I'm just not very coordinated on two wheels. Tricycles though.
Oh, you fucks on trikes.
I think I could. I think if I had a big boy trike, I think I'd be fucking killing it.
I mean, like a big wheel?
Yeah, one. I mean, or just like
where you're like, or just like that big in front of you,
or just one that's like suited for like a grown man, like
What about one of those like goofy ass giant tricycles?
The ones that like the circus people read?
Sure, yeah.
No, I don't like those, I don't think. That's a little too silly for me. Anyways, I don't know. It's just like, I think being cooped up, even though I'm usually cooped up, is got to me a bit. But I'm feeling better. I've been watching a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Not anime, though.
No, yeah, Trip's upset because for this review, I only managed to watch like 4 shows, and like that's it. And I was like, that's all I fucking wanted to watch.
I was blown away because sometimes you're just like, yeah, I'm watching like 3 shows, but I don't know. And then I come to you and you're like, yeah, I watched 7 more than I said. I'm like, okay.
Well, what happened was like I was sitting there and I was like, cool. I recalled like what were the shows I wanted to watch when we first did like the preview.
Id, Invaded, Inspector. Were you gonna watch Inspector?
No, I wasn't gonna watch Inspector. I wanted to watch It Invaded, Pet, and then the Toilet Show.
Yeah, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
Yeah, and then I went back to check it out, and that's not right. I don't think.
I don't know. I think it might be.
I don't think
I'm not gonna fact check myself. I don't have that kind of money.
But I went back to go like to try to peep them, and I just wasn't feeling it. You know, like there's seasons where like there's just shows that like you're really excited to watch that come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. This season wasn't that for me. It wasn't like I hated.
There was
things.
one.
There was no, but there wasn't like there was for sure the one.
There weren't
but the
a lot. Yeah.
But the other 3 shows that I watched are all just like continuation shows or whatever. Like the other 2 at least. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
It wasn't like made in a bit situation. This
wasn't a hot season for you.
For me, yeah.
But I think that there was some great stuff out there. And there's some other things that like I didn't finish watching Inspector, ID Invaded, stuff like that people really, really liked. Because they weren't for me. Like I tried them. I thought it might be for me. Yeah. For sure was not for me. No.
I agree. I don't know, man. So you're disappointed that I didn't watch. I tried.
I'm not. It's not so much that I'm disappointed. It's that I'm surprised.
Maybe
I'm shocked. I'm like, who are you?
I watched a bunch of other stuff though. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. We were talking about this earlier. I watched some of Tiger King because everybody's talking about it, and it's just I don't know. It wasn't as great as I thought it'd be.
You're just not in
a good mood
for media. I don't know, man.
No, that's not true. Because I also watched both seasons of Kingdom on Netflix, and I really enjoyed it. It's like that South Korean show with like zombies and stuff.
And there's the 3rd season of the anime comes out. Like the first episode aired already. Yeah,
did it?
Kingdom anime.
I didn't watch that. Instead, I watched both seasons.
Well, you should have.
Also, I watched season 4 of Kim's Convenience.
You're into that.
I like that show. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It just maybe it's because like I grew up with a dad who owned like a small business, right? So like he would.
So a lot of the points like hit home for you.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff that like Mr. Kim does, even though he's Asian and my father's Mexican or whatever, it's like it feels very like. I don't know.
I think isn't the whole point of that to kind of break down those kinds of stereotypes and just be like, this is all people, you know?
No. I think it does, and because they for sure don't shy away in the show. It's a comedy, so like they make a lot of jokes, but they don't shy away from like being like, "Hey, this is cultural appropriation," or like this is like what people think about. I think they're Korean people. Like the stigmas of being Asian, stuff like that. All that being said, I still see some of those similarities between like Mr. Kim and my father, where it's like, oh, that's an interesting way to think, or like a misunderstanding of something. And it's all, like I said, it's a fun show. It's not supposed to be taken too serious, except for the last episode this season. Kind of ended like on like a somber note, and I'm just like,
it's like a sitcom though, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Okay. All right.
But the last episode, I mean, spoilers for the season finale of Kim Convenience. Here we go, guys.
Let's go.
The daughter's gonna go to. Oh shit! some African country. I don't know which one.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil it for you. Don't worry, guys.
She's going to teach like I think it's English or something, or be a photographer. Yeah. Anyways,
no spoilers. It's it's one of those things.
Here's the spoilers.
We're not going to tell you what it is.
It's spoiler. I'm going to spoil it right here. And they let her go because like they want her to experience the thing or whatever. And then I think like Mr. Kim and like Mrs. Kim have like a conversation, like a very like it's very quick. It's just like, what are we going to do about your situation? And she's just like, we'll tell her afterwards. So I think Mrs. Kim is sick. Like she was at the hospital or whatever. Like they went to the hospital to go check Mr. Kim because he fell on his face and broke his arm. But
happens to the best of us.
But because they're in Canada and they have free healthcare, the doctor while he was there is like, "Hey, Mrs. Kim, I noticed something. Let me give you some tests." And they did, and something came up. So she might be sick, and I don't fucking know how I'm gonna handle it, dog. If there's a 5th season of Kim's Convenience, and she's like, they have to deal with like her funeral or like maybe like her being sick. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I'm fucking wrecked. Okay? This sitcom that's supposed to be like a fun time really fucking gave me like a fucking gut punch at the very end, and I was like, I had to stop and was like, yo, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, this isn't Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul where I'm in it for like a bunch of drama. So when that happened at the very end, I was like, dude, fuck you, Kim's Convenience, you son of a bitch. Because they made me care about this person so much. Yeah, no, but that was pretty
You also watched Tom Segura's new special, right?
I did not. You didn't? I forgot. You should have mentioned it.
Whatever.
Well, it wasn't me. Not in this household.
Somebody was like, it's time. It was probably Kate or some shit. I don't know.
We watched, was it this week we watched Honey Boy together? Or was that last week?
I think it was this week. Yeah, I think it was this week. That was a really cool time where we were all just chilling watching Honey Boy because in Sierra's Animal Crossing game, there was a meteor shower, but it was like a very slow one. So you have to wait certain points until you're able to like wish upon a meteor or a star or whatever. Then we were like, well, let's just watch something while we're all spamming the A button nonstop. And we watched Honey Boy, and it was a good movie.
It's something I've been wanting to watch for like a while now, and it finally came out. And like, I don't know why we just kind of waited on it.
It's just like, it's out. Now that it's out, it just lost that glamour.
But I remember being like super pumped for it. So when we decided to watch it, I was just like, okay, I'm excited, I think. And then like watching it, I was like, this was really good. Shia LaBeouf. So it's like, for people who don't know, it's Shia LaBeouf wrote it with like the help of somebody, and it's kind of based on his life, where like he plays his father, and then he has someone playing him as adult and also as a child. He's dealing with this like,
which was interesting because even though he's very clear, like Shia LaBeouf is very clear about being, this is my movie that I made about my dad and myself, and I'm playing my dad. He's like, but I'm going to name myself Otis.
Well, I think I think the way they got it right,
it's not 100% like truth.
It's inspired by his life, right? Like So
what if it was like everything was true except for the name though? And they were like, we can't do it because I'm keeping that fucking name, but it's not like a real story because
I really liked the fact that his name was Otis. I'm like, that's way better. That's a way better name than his name.
Shia.
Yeah. But it was really good.
It was I was super surprised. Because it was a drama. It was also funny because his dad's fucking ridiculous. Super emotionally abusive and verbally abusive and stuff, but also just fucking funny. I don't know.
Yeah, he had some really good jokes. His dad, I'm not trying to justify his actions, but he also went through a lot of shit. He was like a monster, and it's like...
That's what happened to so many people though. Like, they have a shitty life and then they start another shitty life, and it's part of the cycle. And it's cool that instead of just showing like my dad's a piece of shit, he was able to be like, my dad's a piece of shit because he had some shitty stuff happening, and then also I turned into a piece of shit. And then he dives really hard into his struggles with substance and alcohol abuse, which I was so surprised, and his denial about why he was abusing and why he's acting out the way that he is. It
took him a while for him to be like, this does have to do with my father. Like, these, like, because his therapist wants him to talk about his dad, and he's like, why the fuck we talk about my dad? Like, this, what's this have to do with anything? And I feel like it was a great representation of what people actually go through.
What a good film.
Shout outs to like a bunch of people, because Shia LaBeouf did great of like portraying his father and being like transforming him, because like I know what he looks like, but like he for sure felt like he was someone else. The guy who played Shia LaBeouf as an adult also did really good. I feel like he really captured his mannerisms, and then even like the little kid Shia LaBeouf was like, dude, these guys all did like amazing.
They were all fucking killing it. Yeah. Anyways, that movie was pretty incredible.
It's on Amazon Prime. I think it's free with Prime, so you should check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good time. The last thing I think I did this week was I watched Survivor, right? Obviously. It was an emotional episode.
How many more do we have this season?
I think we're on episode 9. I think it's 9, and there's usually 12 episodes a season, so not too many.
This time? Okay. Well, I guess let's start off with where are you standing?
So here's okay. Yeah. So I play Fantasy Survivor, right?
Yeah.
All week I've been trying to see like what the score was, and every time I go to the discussion board, the guy who does it, the guy who's in charge of it, wasn't posting anything, and I was kind of like, I wonder what's going on, right? And so it wasn't until today that he posted, and he didn't even post the scores from last week. What he posted was like the questions, the extra questions for this upcoming week. He also had a disclaimer like, hey guys, my laptop that I do all my work on crashed, like it like fried. So he's super behind, so he has to start everything from scratch, I think. So he's like, here are the questions for next week, and I think he's just on it. I was really worried. I was like, oh man, I hope he's okay.
It's just like, well, because during the outbreak and everything right now, it's like anybody is strangers online and whatnot, that even though they're an online presence and it feels like they should just be online and they should be good. I don't know, some people are getting unlucky out there. Well,
it's strange because like, I obviously don't know this person. I've recently just started, like, since this season, he's become a part of my life, like where I go, hey cool, this is a guy that posts the fantasy results. But no one was like saying anything on the channel or the forum being like, I think his name is like his username is I am nothing 72 or something like that, and I was like, no one seems to be worried that this guy hasn't posted, like, and I wouldn't be worried either, but I was like, but there is a pandemic out in the world
too, it makes you concerned. So
I was like
94, a little bit different. Anyways,
so I was I was worried. He's alive. He posted. So I don't actually know what my standings are, but I could probably tell you I dropped because this week something positive happened, which was the people who are on edge of extinction, they've competed to come back into the game. And I know that you heard me like cheering or whatever, or freaking out through Discord. Because it was really good, man.
Yeah.
It was a nail biter. So the people who were like in the lead were like Boston Rob, who's like a fan favorite, Tyson, who was on my team, and Yule, who's also was on my team. So I was like, cool. I really just want one of my players who got voted out to go back in, because then it gives me the chance to make more points, right?
Right.
And then by like literally a second, Tyson, I was able to like pull out the win. So I'm like, oh, thank God. Like now I technically only have one player who's out. So I was super stoked. And people seem to be very positive about Tyson returning to the game. He's the newest old school player. And we've seen in this season that mostly old school players are the ones that are being like pushed aside. So I was like, maybe he has a chance. And he seemed to team up with Tony, Ben, and Jeremy to like kind of start this alliance of people who consider themselves large targets. And they go, cool, if we all agree to keep the targets, together and choose like people who are stragglers and vote them off, we can like move forward. As they call each other like meat shields, So I was like, okay, maybe Tyson has a chance to like move forward further in the game. So everything's going great, blah, blah, normal Spider stuff, challenge, reward, all this stuff. The person who gets voted out in this episode was Wendell, who is also on my team. So even though I got someone, I then instantly lost someone again.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, fucking Christ. So I gained points with Tyson, I'm assuming, coming back in. And then I'm going to lose points with Wendell leaving. So I don't know where I'm in the standings. But luckily, Wendell is he's physical in challenges, so he maybe can come back. Tyson came back, maybe him and Yule one of them can come back, because now he's also on edge of extinction. But dude, that was like, it was a really good episode. Like, even though like I have favorites because of my fantasy game, I was very entertained. So that was super dope. And I started school. Sweet. I didn't mention that.
Well, yeah, because you've been off for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Now you're back in it.
My next animation class started. My teacher's name is Lu-I. He's from
Lu-I. Huh.
Where's he from? He's from
the United States.
No. He's from some foreign country. God, I can't remember. I already forgot. Lebanon. He's from Lebanon.
Oh, okay.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, some faraway land.
Some mystery.
Dude, honestly, I would like to go to Canada. It's like not even that far, and I've never been, right? Like, what the fuck?
Fuck it, let's go. I've got nothing else going.
We're going to do a live podcast from Canada.
Yeah,
hey guys, it's really fucking cold out here. Anime's the same. Let's go home. But yeah, my teacher seems to be really cool. He's worked in Pixar, Blue Skies, and right now he's currently working with Disney.
Very cool.
Most of my classmates seem interesting. There is one though who
I want to hear about the one.
I got my eyes on him. He's for sure like a hardcore like memer kind of dude. Like,
oh, okay.
Usually the way it works is like for my class, like we use Zoom. I don't know if you're.
I'm very familiar with it because my boss struggled with it this morning, and
dude,
as I looked at it for the first time, I was like, "You just do that."
It's the most user friendly thing in the world.
Yeah.
But usually
so pissed.
Usually for Zoom, we have webcams and then our microphones, and we just kind of mute our mics and then unmute them when we want to speak. Mm-hmm. There is a chat feature where like the teacher says, if you have a question, write in the chat, and then like he can look down at it and then be like, all right, cool, I have an answer for you. That way you're not interrupting him while he's speaking. But this guy, man, he owns the chat. The thread is so long, and it's just like small things. Like someone will say something like, yeah, when I was working on this thing and like say a video game, he'll be like, oh, dude, Junkrat's the best, fucking XD or whatever, or he'll be like, ooh, this is super spicy. No pain, no game. He's the worst, dude. He's so
I couldn't
bad.
imagine talking that way in a class. Like, of course, within the podcast and within my group of friends, I'm a fucking goblin. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, like a trash person.
I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say. But at work or in class or whatever, I'm just like, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
No. It seems
like my personality.
It feels like because we're in a digital medium and like it's online, he feels like he's in that
he's
world
in
where
his
it's
safe zone.
like dropping like emojis and stuff. I'm waiting for him to add like a GIF or something and like someone to call him out. But I did have a question because I'm going to use the chat appropriately. So I had a question. Mm-hmm. The teacher did something, I wrote it down. And this fucking guy, man, he like responds to my question like with like a big chunk of text and like answering it like he's the fucking teacher. I'm not waiting for him to answer it. I want the teacher to look at it and respond. I look at the chat and I read what he says, and my mic is off. I literally go, that's not even what I was asking. Like I just like go like, what are you doing? And then the teacher, when he gets a chance, he sees my question. He goes like, oh, sorry. It's like, and he answered my question. He goes, good question. And he goes like, oh, and he thought the thing after it was also a question, but it was just this guy's response. And he goes,
it was just the guy being wrong.
He goes, hey, don't pay that any mind. He literally says to ignore it. But dude, this guy, he started off with being like, yeah, my name is, I'm not gonna say his name. He's like, my name is this or whatever. And he goes like, I know I've been all around the world. I've worked commercially. I've worked personally. I was like, I don't know what you mean. And then he goes, I'm technically a rigger, but I'm moving my way towards being an animator. I want to start my own studio. I also want to be a teacher. Like he's got like a list of things he's going to do with his life.
Dude, whenever you have like a list of things that you want to do with your life, good luck.
It's hard.
But I don't think you would excel at any of them. That's kind of the problem with that is,
I don't want to deter him or shit on his dreams, but like I have like something I want to do, but it's like one thing. It's like, cool, I want to be an animator and I want to be in the game industry. That's the thing. Cool. But this guy has like a list of all the things he wants to do with his life. Because one of the questions was like, what is your goal with animation or whatever? Like, what is your dream or whatever? So I was like, cool, I have this one thing. He has a laundry list of things he wants to do. And then he goes, this is how I knew this guy sucked ass. Literally, this is how I knew. He goes, yeah, I've been all over the world. Spent half my life in California. Right now I'm in Virginia. But the first half of my life I spent in Okinawa, Japan. And I was like, oh. And he goes, if you haven't been to Okinawa, it's like the Honolulu of Japan. And I was like, this guy sucks ass. I could just tell. Like, he's the worst.
Then why are you here, my Honolulu dude? Like, why aren't you still chilling in Okinawa?
I'm assuming he's probably, because I think he's American. He seems. Yeah. I think he probably like grew up on like a military base or something, and then.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
That's my guess. I'm not going to ask because I don't want to know any more information.
I don't want to know anymore. Yeah.
About this guy, but I do have a classmate of mine who's also in the class from Chico State, and I like text with him like, yo, dude, like this guy, am I right? It's like, yeah, dude, this guy's great.
That's pretty cool that you guys have a class together again.
Yeah, it's convenient. Like, and also luckily our teacher put us in like he has like a buddy system. Like he broke us up into groups to be like, hey, keep each other, and he put us in the same group. Like that's convenient. I know who you are, so I feel comfortable about talking with you. And the guy who I don't like, not in my group. Whew. Yeah, so it's good, man. I'm glad school started. It's gonna give me like stuff to work on and like be productive and shit. So yeah, things are great.
Good.
How are you?
pretty all right, I guess. I don't know.
Cool. Let's keep moving.
I've still been playing like a boatload of Animal Crossing, but huge thing just happened 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago. You beat the game.
Sunday. Finally beat EDF. Been playing Earth Defense Force 5 for about 6 months now with Kyle and Sam. We finally finished it, and when you finish it on hard mode, it unlocks hardest mode and Inferno, which is below that. And we never looked at the descriptions. We were just like, let's do it on hard because it gives you more shit. It sounds fun. Like, we're capable. And then it says explicitly on hard, like, you should probably wait until you beat the game once so that you have a bunch more stuff starting out this way. It's very hard. And then hardest mode is like, this game is super hard. You should definitely have beaten the game a couple of times, like on each difficulty before you do this mode. And Inferno is like, this difficulty is the hardest, actually. You probably shouldn't play this. You don't need to play this mode. Just like, what's the point of having that in the game?
Is it like unbeatable? Like, is it like a meme, or you can actually beat it?
I mean, you probably actually can, but like, there's no point in it. It's not fun at that point. Like, there were times playing EDF where we're like, how do we beat this janky ass shit with like our combination? But then the end of it, we had like 2 more missions left. We did one of them and we're like, wow, we fucking did it on the first go. Good job, boys. And then the final boss comes down in the next one and we're like, oh man, I don't know what we're going to do for this. This seems like it might be pretty tough. And then Kyle's character has a thing where he is able to nuke something. He could send out a nuke, but he needs somebody else to like tell it to go. So he could supply stuff and then Sam could be like, all right, go. So Kyle just sat there and he's like pointing at the boss like, all right, it's locked on. And then suddenly the boss just explodes. And they did that, I think, 2 or 3 times. And then it was done as I just kind of went around and made sure everything else was staying okay. But it was a very wild end to our journey. So that was exciting. That was a fun little time.
Good 6 months.
And yeah, I bought the Resident Evil remakes, Resident Evil 2 and 3. So I'm going to get around to those soon as well. Like, I've got a bunch of games on my list, but those 2, I've always been a huge Resident Evil fan. I didn't want to play 2 remake because it's not really what I was looking for at the time, but I've heard so many wildly positive things that I figure I should try it out. I don't know. I wasn't sure how I would feel about the whole Mr. X aspect of it following you around everywhere. I just didn't think it would be fun where I'm at right now, playing a single player game with that kind of like sense of urgency. That's not what I've been looking for lately. Just looking for like a go at my own pace thing, opposed to how sometimes I treat games very intensely.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up? Oh, I'm getting a call from somebody, actually. Hang on, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, me too, actually.
Are you getting a call for somebody?
Yeah, it's from my dad.
No. Oh my god. No, it was Abe. He's fucking with this. So sorry about that. Anyways, how's your dad?
Oh, I'm gonna tell him to call back later.
Take it on the podcast. Do it.
Oh, okay. You want me to call him?
No.
Okay, I just sent him a text like, hey, can I call you back?
Yeah, good.
I have a question. What are the odds at the same time?
I know, right? It's fucking wild.
Resident Evil 2, the one that was like remastered or whatever, or remade.
Yeah.
What was that originally on? Was that on PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1?
1.
What about the third one?
You know, I never actually played the third one. I'm getting a fuckload of fucking notifications on Discord right now, and I'm so fucking not with it right now. I should probably hide myself. Anyways. I can't remember if it was on PS1 or if it was on Dreamcast or whatever, but Code Veronica was for sure on Dreamcast.
Because the Resident Evil that I like is the 4th one, but I'm pretty sure that was on GameCube. So
yeah, GameCube and PlayStation 2.
So by then it was on PlayStation 2.
If it ever came to Xbox. Yeah.
So do you think they'll remake that one? Because I really like that one.
I would love if they did, but honestly, when it comes down to it, there have been so many, not like remakes, but like remasters or something like that, where they just improve the graphics. So
because that's
you
a solid
could get
game.
it on PS4.
Yeah, no, but that's like a solid game. I feel like if you tried to play Resident Evil 2, you'd be like, this is clunky, the camera's busted, right? So like that wouldn't
Not anymore.
I'm saying the original one before they remastered it.
Yeah.
So that's why it was important. Like so, but when I think about Resident Evil 4, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure like it was a pretty solid game. Yeah. That'd be dope.
But I don't remember when it was announced, but it's going to be Mario's anniversary soon. So they are going to be releasing this collection of Mario games, and Super Mario Sunshine's supposed to be on there, and I am so fucking excited for a re-release of that.
That one was hard.
I beat it a couple of times, but I never collected all of the coins, so I never 100%ed it. I just I got all the red coins, but they also have like hey, you know how there's like a fuck ton of coins in every level? Get like all of them, and I'm like,
dude,
some of it's not.
Since we're talking about Mario Sunshine, this week my brother gave me a call. He's just like, hey, which is odd. He doesn't usually text me, so he called me and he was like,
never called me.
He goes, sorry. He goes, hey man, like, do you have like a GameCube? I was like, I don't think so. I was like, well, there's a box of like video games out by the trash. He goes, I think mom threw them out. I'm like, what's in there? He goes like, oh, and he looked at it. He's like, oh, it's a GameCube and an N64. I was like, those are mine. And she's just like, yeah, I guess she's just throwing them away. She's like, do you want me to bring them in? I was like, yeah, bring them in. What is she doing? So then I picked them up today, but I saw my mom. She was like, yo, what the fuck? You're throwing my video game? She goes like, well,
yo, mom, what the fuck?
Yeah. I goes like, she goes, well, they were in the garage, and I figured that if you would have wanted them, you would have took them. I was like, I didn't know they were in the garage. Why wouldn't you call me? She's like, well, it's trash. I was like, to you, yeah. To me, it's not. So I don't even know if they work, but I have them now.
Regardless, you have it. You got your Smash Melee. You know, you got your Golden Eye, all the ones that you'd love.
Yeah. So
maybe I'll get Banjo-Tooie though. So
I want what I want is Double Dash, but it's super expensive, brand new. Have you ever seen it? It's like $200,
steep, dude. I was actually just watching Seth Everman. Do you know who that guy is? The bald guy who plays the bloopy music.
That guy's great.
The Billie Eilish guy.
No, I know who he is. Yeah.
Anyways, he just posted a video like today or yesterday where he was talking about buying this GameCube like display console thing. You know that they would have at like McDonald's and shit.
Yeah, for sure. And no, I played those so much.
Yeah, he impulse bought it. Didn't realize it was going to weigh a metric fuck ton, and then like couldn't do anything with it. So he like dragged it down, severely injured his back, eventually like pulled it out of the van that he like had to climb up a hill in order to get it into. He took it out of the van, didn't just let it sit outside for like a few days before he could work his way inside with it. But he bought Double Dash, or he had Double Dash and a bunch of other like really, really good ones like Sunshine, the Wind Waker, including the Ocarina of Time remake or whatever for that. He's got Twilight Princess, Luigi's Mansion, Metroid Prime 1 and 2, like a whole bunch of really fucking good ones, Animal Crossing. And then he bought a Wavebird, which apparently they're more expensive now. Do you know what a Wavebird is?
No.
Sorry, I should preface that. It's a controller that's wireless for a GameCube.
Oh, okay.
You have like
I've seen one.
Big ass little like
chunk
blocky thing. It's like kind of that big. Yeah. Hunk that
it's like
in there.
The predecessor to like fucking Bluetooth or whatever. Like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he bought a Wavebird, and it's more expensive than like a regular ass controller nowadays. It's like an old school. I thought that was interesting. But anyways, I was just watching a GameCube ass video, and that's
cool.
It was fun little. Fucking love Wavebirds. I had one for a long time. Another one for not as long. I don't know what happened to it, just disappeared or broke or some shit. But I had one for a very long time. I think I have it, but I don't have the little block chunk piece or something. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a minute. But yeah, man. GameCube's great.
Yeah. Cool.
So more Mario shit. They might actually put out a re-release of Paper Mario. Maybe Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully. And I think that they did say Super Mario 3D World or something like that. Maybe I'm just remembering podcasts where people are speculating about it. But I'm fucking way stoked for that shit. I don't know. I've been a Mario fan ever since I was a little babe, you know? So this is a big deal, bringing back some childhood great memories that I replayed as an adult, that I will now replay as an adult, and purchase again.
Yeah, for sure. That's dope.
That's what always winds up happening. But yeah, because of this whole quarantine thing, I've been able to find more inspiration for like different weird meals and stuff. So last night I made the best enchiladas I've ever made.
I'm not okay with this. I fucking know
I know.
This is
I
horrible.
know. It is fucking great. Best enchiladas I've ever made, and best mashed potatoes that I've ever had. Ever. I fucking crushed it. And you know what, man? They didn't go together. Doesn't fucking matter. I didn't put them together. They were on two separate plates. That's how much I knew what I was doing was wrong. But you know what? When you were just like, I really, really want enchiladas, but fuck, dude, mashed potatoes sound like they would fucking bang right now. And then you do both. And it was incredible. It was such like, I like made my own buttermilk, like melted a shit ton of butter and milk. And
Sierra brought this up, and she's just like, ew, Trip's a monster. I was like, what? And she mentioned it to me, and I was like, and instantly I was like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Like, how? Hey man, food combos. I was like so mad.
I will make eventually a combination dish. It's like a mashed potato, enchilada fusion, and you're gonna have your mind fucking blown.
I'm not okay with what happened. I mean, I understand that you're the one that ate it and you enjoyed it, which is great. But I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't want to be friends with this guy anymore. This guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah, hey man, sometimes you just feel like having a certain fucking thing, and I wanted two certain fucking things, and that never happens. And I just happen to have all the ingredients for both.
Yeah, man, good on you. I did it for sure. Yeah,
it was incredible. I saved you some potatoes. Come over here. Give me a kiss.
I'm not allowed to come over.
But yeah, you were saying earlier that this week is like really starting to get to you, staying inside all the time. For me, this week is really getting to me because I'm missing all my fucking boys, dude. I'm missing my boys so much. I've been wanting to fucking hang out with you hella bad, like nonstop. But I can't. And I keep being like, oh man, we'll just pop on down the old fucking ice cream shop and we'll just have a good old time. With our Jimmy's and vanilla ice cream cones.
Lesser Kyle keeps sending me like memes of being like, yo, if I knew this was the last time I'd be hugging my homie, I would hug him, closer. And it was like, dude, settle down. But the more he kept sending them, like the more I was just like, oh, fuck, yeah, I'm sad. What the fuck?
Yeah, man, we could have all been making out, having a good old fashioned pillow fight, but nah, look where we are now.
It's all right. It's for the best. It's cool. I mean, I don't know if we talked about this on the pod, but like, we found a new place to live, and super close to your place. It's like not even like a 5-minute drive, like 2 minutes at like tops.
Yeah, it's like a 3-minute drive,
depending on how fucking busy Eaton is, and what time of day. But yeah.
You also have to go pretty slow down like my little apartment roads or whatever.
I started playing a game where I would stop. I would take my feet off the gas as soon as I turned into your like parking lot, and then see how far I could coast, like take the turns and go try to get momentum to get into the parking lot.
And that's so much fun.
I'll only hit the brakes when I'm in the parking spot. I try to hit. I only didn't make it once. Like one time I wasn't going fast enough, and I was just like, I literally was just came into like a complete stop, like in the middle of like your driveway. I was like, fuck, I have to hit the gas.
That's hella funny.
Maybe I'll just do that for fun. Maybe I'll just drive to your place and do that and then just come back.
You should.
It's not hurting anybody.
I could stand out there and wave.
Yeah. It's a good waste of gas, yeah.
Well, at least you're wasting something,
Dude, I haven't bought gas in forever. Like, I don't fucking go anywhere anymore.
When this all started going down, I was like, okay, so my town hasn't gotten anyone infected in it yet. I should go get gas before it's too late when everyone's grabbing on them fucking handles nonstop. Mm-hmm. So I got gas right away, and I haven't been there since it all started. It's been great.
Some things are great. Some things suck ass.
Yeah. Not being able to kiss my boys.
We don't kiss. Oh my god. Do you do you have anything else to talk about before we get into the news?
Nah, man, I'm not doing much. But my boss was having a really hard time with Zoom, and that fucked up like my whole day. And the only thing that kept me going is knowing that I would see your beautiful smile.
I can turn off the video. You don't have to see me at all.
That's true.
Yeah. How about we get to the news? We got to do a fucking show.
Let's get into the news. So, look, man, there's not a ton of news this week because it's like the first week of anime and shit. But I have a couple of things for you. So, first piece of news. The first episode of my teen romantic comedy SNAFU, Season 3, has been delayed with no current date set for its first airing. So, we watched this show.
It was
a couple months ago? I don't know how long it was.
It was like 3 weeks ago.
Man, time flies when you're playing Animal Crossing, I guess. Yeah, and it was all right, but people fucking love this show, just not for us. Season 3...
When you read that name, I was like, why does that sound so familiar? It took me a while to be like, oh, that's right. I watched that.
Watched it. Yeah. But yeah, it would fucking suck to be looking forward to some shit and then suddenly... Where'd it go?
I mean...
Where's it go?
Yeah, it's not like it's that important. If it were like My Hero or like Attack on Titan for 2 years.
Yeah, but the fact is it was supposed to air this week.
Don't care.
And still in.
I know that Sierra's really stoked for Fruit Baskets. Now, if that were delayed, I would be scared because she'd be fucking pissed.
That's that shit. Some people are like that level of into my teen romantic comedy SNAFU.
Yeah.
All right, next up. Fortunately, good news. Every time I talk about a voice actor, it's always bad news. So this time, fuck you. I got good news. So the Gintama voice actor, Tomokazu Sugita, has left Atomic Monkey to form his own talent agency called AGRS. That's pretty crazy. I mean, you don't really hear of people doing that too often, like actors or voice actors or anyone like that. Going off and forming their own talent agency. So I thought that was really interesting.
That's pretty cool. I think the only bad part of that news is that he's leaving an agency called Atomic Monkey, which is a fucking dope name for a company.
Yeah, but it's been around. He's been a part of that for 19 years. He's had a really solid Atomic Monkey run, and he's run out of gas, dude.
If we could go back and change the name of the podcast to Atomic Monkeys, I'd be so for it.
And we wouldn't be able to because it was already a studio. So
yeah, it's too late.
Oh man, speaking of the name of the podcast, earlier today, this dude that I really like, he's a really funny editor. I've shown you some of the clips and stuff that he's been in, or videos, for Funhouse. His name's Ryan. Anyways.
The guy that didn't know how to play games, but like played the VR game. He was that fun.
Guy. So he has a YouTube channel. He does a bunch of weird shit. And he made like an instant ramen game show at one point. Anyways, he tweeted out something today and was like, here are the top 15 Japanese live action movies, in my opinion. Tell me yours. Like, whatever. So a bunch of people were kind of responding. And I'm like, yeah, man, Departures is really good. So is The Taste of Tea and Nobody Knows. But Nobody Knows is super fucking depressing. And The Real Story is even more depressing. However, The Taste of Tea is very surreal and a ton of fun. And it was like, hey, man, appreciate the recommendations from one ramen show to another. And I feel like I made it. I feel like this is the last episode because We've been peaked, recognized.
Huh? That's it. Cool.
I've been recognized by one of my favorite editors out there.
Whatever.
Hey, dude. Ryan's great. Anyways, back to the news. ReZero, the Frozen Bond OVA, will come to Crunchyroll on April 30th. So cool. Big ups. Big ups to the ReZero fans. No opinion?
I mean,
you got nothing?
I haven't watched it. I want to watch it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah. Well, let's just pretend like, hey, the Attack on Titan OVAs are coming to Crunchyroll.
Are they?
You would be pretty excited, right? No.
You lied to me, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but you would be excited. That's the level of excitement that these people have that are waiting for the Frozen Bond to finally come out.
Did you watch the OVAs for Attack on Titan?
I watched one of them.
Is that the book one or the girl that's like out?
Yeah, it was the book one. Yeah,
where'd you watch
fucking sick. I don't remember exactly, but it was like way back in the day when it had first come out, and my friend was like, "Check this shit out," and then I somehow got it and watched it on some streaming site. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to watch that. Cool, good for the ReZero fans. Let's keep pushing.
Yeah, it is. And hey, this is a weird personal piece of news for us, but Tiger and Bunny 2 is going to air in 2022. And now for those of you that don't know, my good friend Tom Nasser did the intro for us.
The first time.
The first time and the second time. But for the first one, for the first one, we were like, hey, man, could you make something that's kind of like, kind of sounds like this, sent from the Tiger and Bunny intro?
I really like that intro song. I think it's super fun. And I think Tom didn't like it or whatever. Or Tom wasn't like the super like biggest fan of it because like he wanted to make a second intro. Second intro is good too for our podcast.
What the fuck are you talking about? I wanted to make a second intro.
Yeah, you know, I'm saying, but like it's not as good as
the first we're coming up on 200 now. Maybe I should hit him up. Like, hey man, you're in quarantine. Christ. Give us another one of these fuckers.
Yeah, you know? It should be like Attack on Titan, like super, you know, super high.
Really intense.
Yeah.
Oh, like, hey, by the way, I don't remember if I said, but in my town, the town theme song in Animal Crossing is Attack on Titan. Yeah. And then I've got our flag. Our logo is the flag in my town.
Said that too.
Cool. On the podcast?
Said both those things. Yeah.
Huh? Oh, whoa. Wild. Yeah. Hey, for those of you that are tuning in this week and missed last week.
That's super funny. I actually came across that earlier this week, and I was like, shit, season 2 of Tiger and Bunny, because like they made the movies, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I kind of liked Tiger and Bunny. It wasn't too bad. I don't think I ever finished it.
I liked it a lot, and then I stopped liking it as much at a certain point, and it just got like a little bit worse. But it was a cool concept of these superheroes that are also like advertising shit, and they're all part of like this weird agency, and they're heavily like broadcasted on media and stuff.
Yeah.
So they advertise certain brands. It was cool. It was weird.
It's like the plot of The Incredibles 2. You know, if you've seen The Incredibles 2, you've seen Tiger and Bunny. So this is cool. I mean, I feel like
Tiger and Bunny did it first, so
God damn it, Trip. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool that's getting another season. It's an older show for it to be brought back. Maybe we'll get season 2 Bunny drop.
2012.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
2012.
I think it came out in like 2011 or something.
Well, hopefully the animation looks better now. So
I'm sure it will.
All right,
that's all the news. Do you want me to come up with another piece of news? I could find something.
No, we're good.
Most of the news this week was just like, hey, this show's going to be 12 episodes long. Hey, this show's going to be 13 episodes long. Hey, look at this piece of art. That's like everything. So I tried to get all the hits from the news for y'all. But I
think it's good. It's time for the week's topic, though. We're going to talk about Winter 2020 anime wrap up, which I'm going to say off to the top, like this was not my favorite season for anime. There were some really good shows in it. There was one show that I really liked that came out of nowhere. But for the most part, I wasn't a huge fan of this season. Just gonna say it.
I had so much fun with a couple of shows this season that were new, and like I enjoyed others, but there are a couple that I'm like, oh fuck yeah, it was incredible. There weren't, sequels or whatever. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start out talking about Haikyuu. Made by Production IG. They've done Fooly Cooly, Eden of the East, Be the Beginning, amongst a whole bunch of other things. Now, previously, you hadn't caught up with Haikyuu, but you texted me and said you caught up, and I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah. So I hadn't watched season 3. I'd watched season 1 and 2. So that's why I didn't start season 4. Because well, I'm not like fucking Kate, who's a monster, who's out here watching season 4 before watching 1, 2, and 3.
Dude, Kate went fucking wild. That's so funny to me that she somehow was able to get into season 1 after watching season 4 and like.
Well, Kate's argument was like, in Kate's defense, she said like she had a great time, great characters, and I was like, but I asked like, well, wouldn't you think like there was like previous development? There was flashbacks of people like knowing each other, and she's like, yeah, I thought like the show was just kind of like you got to pick it up as it goes, and I was just like, so when I started season 4, I was like, oh my god, Kate, there's so many fucking things that like that would have been spoiled, or people you have no fucking clue, like they'll have flashbacks of like a competitor from like 2 seasons back, and I was like, how the fuck did Kate get through this? It's a really good season, to be fair, like it was really fun.
It's an incredible season, but it also wouldn't have been as good if you didn't watch everything leading up to it.
For sure, yeah. So don't be a Kate. Watch the shows in the right order. So I was able to watch.
The top is season 4, just for anyone that's trying to get in on Haikyuu. To the top is season 4, so just watch Haikyuu.
Haikyuu.
That's it.
Just start.
You could skip the movies. Skip the movies because they are just recaps of season 3.
Yeah, and then there's like a set of OVA episodes where it's like just 2
watch
other
those. Yeah. Absolutely watch those.
But I'm saying but they're not like
no
mandatory.
It's not necessary, but
they're good.
It's like, oh, cool. The school, because the whole gist of Haikyuu is it's a volleyball anime. So it centers itself around like building these characters on the court at first, and then very quickly it becomes, oh, okay, that's just kind of a part of the show. And then it becomes like more and more exciting whenever they keep playing volleyball as it goes on. And then you're so invested that these other teams that you haven't seen their whole stories, you're like, whoa, I wonder what's going on with them. Like, they're intense. And then instead of them being rivals, it turns into, oh man, I don't want that other team to lose, but like I want my boys to win. Yeah. So you feel conflicted a lot of the time. But
do you have another team that you really like that isn't our boys? Like if like out of all of their teams, is there one team where like that team, I like them a lot? You got one of those?
I like Nakoma a lot.
Which one's that? Because I don't know them by the names. I know them by like, the colors. Okay, the red one, right? Is that the one with the boys that have
the
like
cat boy?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's the guy that has like the bleach things, and he's like really like quiet or monotone. And there's the one that has like the weird like
phone or whatever
rooster haircut. I like them.
Oh, it's great.
I also like what are they called? Is it Daytech or something like that?
Dotiko?
Yeah, I like them a lot too. They have like the really like huge guy that's like stoic, white hair, and like he's always like mean mugging, and he's like a really good blocker.
He was like season 2 like villain, but he was great.
I like him a lot.
That's a good one.
And
plus, they have the best chant out of all of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like the relationship him and like the main character have developed. Like
Himouto,
there's like this this weird like this respect for each other, but they both like really kind of like hate each other, but like as friends. So it's like it's really cool.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say much. Yeah. There's a lot of characters in the show that like are very like animated or like will speak. He's not one of those. He's a very stoic character, and I really enjoy him. I also really liked since I saw season 3 and 4 back to back. Season 3 is all one match.
Season 3 was incredible. When it first came out, it was fucking whew.
So there's
game-changing.
There's like the superstar ace on that and that other team, right? But what I really like is the tall blocker that looks like a lizard. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Shiratorizawa is I don't remember what the ace's name was, but he's just like he's been this character since season 1 that has been looked upon as like, holy shit, he's so fucking good. And then like, you get there and you see his like lizard magician friend that's like, I'm gonna get you, with his spiky red hair.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's he I don't know what it is. I think it's the way he moves. Like I imagine that's like because he's so like lanky and tall. Like the way he carries himself, he feels
right. He's kind of like a freaky troll boy.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, like, when I first saw him, I was like, he gave me like lizard vibes. Like, this guy's a fucking gecko looking motherfucker. And then they say it in the show, like they even call him that. I'm like, oh, awesome! They totally like nailed what I was like imagining him.
Yeah,
and like his personality is awesome.
They nailed like the whole thing. Yeah.
So it just goes to show you that like the show's so well done that like it makes you like minor characters and like other teams that don't matter. Like this season had like the guy that you were telling me earlier who's like hits underhand super high. Like I know nothing about him, but
you're like, holy shit. This is cool.
I thought one of my favorite animation like sequences of the season was the one where what's his fucking name? The setter for the team. For the actual
Kageyama,
team.
Kageyama.
There's a scene
I was
where
like on the other team. I don't know.
No, on the team, on our boys' team. He's trying to get used to like the spatial awareness in like the
and they have gymnasium.
That grid, yeah. So when that scene came up, he's seeing everything in black and white, and there's like moments being shot and like a grid's being built. I was like, oh, that's a really nice visually well done sequence of animation.
Yeah, they do so many sequences like that where it's just like, oh man, it takes it to another level because it shows you like. Not only is it how they're kind of seeing things, but it shows you this like tangible thing, like the umbrella or whatever.
Or like the curtains,
the iron wall,
iron walls. Yeah. So like I thought that was like oh, when I saw that in this fourth season, I was like, dude, that's probably my favorite shot so far, right? And then there's this shot of the guy going underhand, like whipping his arm, and like he hits the ball and it just goes skyrocketing. I go, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but I fucking love it. Like this might be my favorite, like little snippet of animation. It's so fucking cool.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And then I think the best part about sequences and characters like that too is that they add this extra depth of realism where instead of it just being that dude fucking crushes it, it starts out and it's like, oh shit, what's this guy doing? Like, he's doing an underhand. That's nuts. And then he fucks up and hits the guy in the head. And you're like,
yeah, it's so good.
Okay, so he's just another one of our boys. We like him now.
Yeah, like he does like this. He steps back and you see the animation. Like he does a really hard step back. You're like, what the fuck? We never see this, you know?
Yeah. Everyone's freaking out.
Or he goes to get a second chance at the second set to like do the underhand, and the guy who got hit in the head, and like he puts his hands above his head, he's just like, all right, just in case to make sure he doesn't get hit again.
I love it. I love it whenever the like teams roast each other or whatever, like all the friends on their team. Yeah. Great season. It also adds a little bit more depth to a couple of characters, and it starts out by focusing on like Hinata improving, like paying attention and not just like being in the moment, like that fucking animalistic instinct that he has.
Yeah, he's like learning how to play the actual game, and like he's like becoming like aware of stuff. He's not just raw talent and like kind of going, which is nice. I'm glad he's like becoming better. He's still not like really good yet, but it's cool that he's finally making that transition to becoming an actual better player. Yeah. Like where he's being a ball boy for like 4 episodes. It's like he's still like learning, even though he's not actually playing. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Pretty intense, yeah.
Let's see. I mean, other positive things is like, even though like
honestly,
all the
here's the thing, like without getting into the details of all of it and like all the different positive things, because it's just nonstop. This show is fantastic. In season 4, they changed up the animation style, they changed some stuff, and they kept the heart of the show. Yeah. And then they gave us so much more. And instead of it focusing on just like all these intense, crazy moments, it really focused on taking time and improving in different ways that we've seen. There was that episode where they all kind of like duke it out with arguing with each other and like saying like, hey, you were short on this one, don't fuck up again. And like, instead of it being a problem, we're like, got it, I'll do that. And like it got really heated, but then they also like agreed with each other. The show's doing some new stuff, but it's staying exactly the same, and it's incredible. People should watch Haikyuu. A lot of people don't get into certain shows because they have these preconceived notions about what a genre is, like Haikyuu,
like a sports anime. Yeah.
But it's different. It would be like going into Megalobox expecting it to be the same as Kuroko Basketball, you know?
Yeah, they are different. It's a great show, just like you were saying. Like I didn't even really notice the animation change too much.
Not a whole lot. Like the shading on the neck and some network and stuff. Because
the characters were so great, and I'm glad that like some of the third years are leaving. They're getting their moments to shine, because all of season 3 was this one match. So we get back to some character development. Like you got like Shaved Head Boy, like maybe becoming like romantically involved. Like, oh, cool. Like I never would have expected it to go that way.
That was such a cool arc. Yeah. Where it went like, on this little romance arc.
I was like, that's really nice. The only pet peeve I have, and this is just because like I haven't this whole season, for the last few months, I've been able to talk about things like I don't like about Haikyuu. The one thing I don't like, I like the fact that they're able to like always add new characters, and a lot of the times the way they have really cool designs and stuff. Like a lot of times it's like hair. Like who has some crazy hair? Like that's a main character. Not like Yu-Gi-Oh levels hair, but like
No. But hang on. They also with what's his name? What's our little
the Libero guy?
What's his name?
I don't fucking know. I don't know any of their names. I know the main character's names.
Libero, who I'm gonna forget. His hair is crazy, and he's got like this little streak, and he does his hair up in a certain way. It shows him like after he's showered and stuff,
going to sleep,
ready for bed and stuff.
I didn't recognize him.
He's a totally different dude. It was so cool when I saw that for the first time, being like, this fucking show.
Yeah, he was sleeping. I was like, who the fuck's this guy? And I was like, oh, okay, that's right. His hair's not always spiked. Yeah.
Nishinoya.
My issue was, the thing is like they usually like they'll throw new hairs and stuff, and like it's fine for the most time. I don't really care. Like people have like wild mohawks, shaved heads, but this season, and I knew this was gonna happen because I've seen a lot of images for this guy, even just like on the manga and like stuff like that. But the new little guy, the new little giant that they're like showing from their team
with his eyes,
where his hair literally looks like feathers. I'm just like, come on, dude. But his eyes also piss me the fuck off because he's just like these weird bug. They're trying to make him look very birdish because I think he's a seagull is their team. I really fucking didn't like it. There are times where he closes his eyes and it looks more like their eyelashes, you know, like I'm like, okay, it looks a little bit better. But for the most part, I go like, why isn't anybody freaked out by this monster's eyes? Like, why is it like, I know they see crazy hair all the time, but this fucking guy over here, this bug-eyed son of a bitch, like, of course he has an advantage. He can see 360. That's how big his eyes are. That's like one character design. And you know,
I agree with that. I'm not super big on his design.
Looking. Yeah.
He's supposed to be like Hinata's rival, essentially, because they're both small boys. Yeah, not a huge fan of his design.
Cool character, cool vibes or whatever. I think I like him. I was like, cool.
So far, his character arc hasn't been anything though.
Yeah,
which is like he could be fine, but so far they haven't done anything to like blow me away with him. He's just kind of there to rival Hinata. And has
which is good.
Different personality.
I feel like the shrimp needs another rival. He's got plenty of rivals, but he needs a rival on his level.
Oh man, but it was so good when they're like, "Ah shit, he's got a rival. He's not going to be happy that he's going up against somebody like him. He's going to be fucking horrified because he's only used to people that are giant. He can always take those people down." And
he didn't
he's
give a fuck. Yeah,
I'm going to fucking crush this dude. And you're like, all right.
I like them both. I like them both like asking for small shirts, you know, like ordering, and then they're staring at each other. It's like, hey, do you know this guy's like, no, but I can't look away because if I look away, I'll fucking lose. You know, it's just like, oh, cool, this is good. I like this. Great show. I mean, people should be watching this for sure.
What else should people be watching, Juan?
My Hero Academia.
Made by Studio Bones. They've done Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Mob Psycho 100, Bungo Stray Dogs, and a shit ton of other amazing shows. So we're on season 4 of My Hero. Right?
Yeah.
What happened in season 3?
Raid. So the raid was the beginning of this season, right? So in season 3, All Might loses his stuff. He becomes less All Might. They do the trip where they go out camping or whatever. They meet the
starts with the camping
cats.
Thank you very much.
And then by the end of it, All Might's not All Might anymore.
Yeah. Anyways, if you haven't caught up with My Hero Academia, it's, you know what? We're at a good point right now where I wasn't happy with season 4 for a lot of it, but if you binge it, that shit's all right. Like, my problem with it was focusing a lot on like action sequence. We didn't get a whole lot of that from My Hero in the beginning. It's a lot of like build up to certain things. There wasn't a huge build up this season, and we didn't get a lot of focus on the characters until we were in the fights. And it felt a little bit unnatural to just go like week to week. You're just watching different characters fight and getting to learn their backstory during that, instead of it kind of like building a little bit more up at a time. So it was not a super smooth start to the season, but man, the second half, the one that we're like focusing on, I had such a good time. Still wasn't convinced, and then the last 4 episodes were fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I loved this season of My Hero, and I was pretty negative all throughout.
Yeah, no, you were a real asshole about it. You're like, fuck this show. I was like, this show's trash. I was like, steady on, bud. Like it's pretty okay. Calm down.
It'll get there, homie.
And the thing is, you know, like I was curious how they're going to handle the raid because I remember reading in the manga and being like, this is entertaining. And then seeing it go to the anime, and I go, yeah, I can see why some people might consider this like very taxing or tiring or kind of just boring, you know?
Yeah.
And I get it. I felt like that too. There were some cool fights, but for the most part, the first half of this season was like, all right, do the thing already. I'm waiting, you know? And then we get to the latter half where they do like the arc where we get some more character development, the culture festival, which is always great because it feels more. It felt like old school My Hero, right? It felt very like it felt good, which is something that like made me like really like the show at the beginning, you know.
Mm-hmm. Just a heavy focus on these interesting characters that have different powers. And you're kind of getting to experience what they are. And now that we've gotten this far, we're seeing how they use their powers in different ways. A little bit less hero focused and a little bit more like, how can I use this in a way that's not for saving people, which is fucking cool.
Yeah, because sometimes you forget, oh, that's right, they are high school students, first year high school students. That means they're like, freshmen. It's like, oh, cool, okay,
they're babies.
Yeah, even though in this world they're out there like, getting their license and like and saving people and stuff, they still are high school students. So it's like, okay, cool, it's nice to get back to them just doing high school stuff. The last episode of this season, I fucking loved. We get to see, Endeavor, and we get to see Hawks take on the new the Nobu, right? And
yeah, the Nobu, yeah.
I remember like being so fucking pumped when I read it, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to like visually see this. And seeing it, I was like,
it was sick as fuck.
Fucking so good. And
what a great episode to end on.
I was so bummed out when the next thing it says like, season 5 coming soon. I was like, no, please. I was like, I just give me more. And I was just like, and I had to like stop myself. I was like, we've had a lot. There's this season 4 was very large. It is time for them to take a little break and then get back to it. But I'll tell you this, the manga is, I feel like, at a very good point. There was, I don't know, I want to say like 20 chapters recently where I was like really not feeling it, almost didn't want to read it. And then it got back to like a high. So I don't know how far we are from it. Like I can't, so sometimes I can gauge pretty well like how long an arc will take. But now seeing how long the raid arc took, I was like, my ideas of their pacing is, I think, is kind of shot. So I'm interested to see how long it keeps going. But there's a lot of source material left. I would say overall season 4 I liked. It's not my favorite season, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good. So I don't know if you were avoiding it because you weren't enjoying that beginning. It's for sure worth going into. Like I know our friend Kate was not having a good time, was like, I just have to wait. And she watched all of it. She's just been binging it. And just before it even got to the episodes that I'm like, these are fucking incredible, she's like, this show is just so good. And I'm like, all right, cool. So she was like texting me about that when she got to the baby arc is what she called it.
Oh yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
that was
it was fun. But like she was saying like before that, she was having an amazing time.
What's your favorite arc of My Hero? I'm a big fan of the baby arc.
Baby arc's pretty cool.
Baby arc's pretty good. Not as good as Raid. All right, man. What's next?
All right, cool. So since you didn't watch a whole lot of things, I'm going to be talking.
Excuse me. You got to say it like that. Say it a different way.
Since you're a stupid bitch and didn't watch any good ass anime out there.
Oh, that's really mean.
Well, what do you want me to... I was trying to be cool about it.
Anyways, yeah, because I was not a big fan of this season. You watched more shows than I did. Maybe you could have said it like that, you piece of shit. I don't know.
I could have, but instead you interjected. So I watched Asteroid and Love, made by Doga Kobo. They've done a ton of like cute moe shit, but Plastic Memories, Gabriel Dropout, and Himouto Umaru-Chan are a few of their most popular ones. Now, Asteroid and Love, it starts out and it seems like it's going to be maybe some kind of a Yuri romance type show about these two girls that were childhood friends, separated, and are friends again. In high school, they joined the geology and astronomy club, right? So
yeah,
they combined both of those, yeah, essentially, and rekindle their friendship, find that they like care a lot about each other, and realize that they help each other grow in different ways as people, and really inspire each other. So the show turns out it's just a slice of life, cute girls doing cute things, and I had such a good time with it. It's just some high quality shit there, because it is a slice of life. You know how in a lot of slice of life anime it'll end with like, all right guys, we're graduating and never seeing each other again. And it's like a big sad moment. Well, in this, they did that on like episode 8 or 9, and whoa. I'm sitting there like, ooh, baby. Okay. And it hit me like harder than a lot of those shows do. Even though we were only on episode 8 or whatever, it was really good. I for sure was watching it at work because we're like dead. I was watching it at work and like tearing up, and I'm like, whoops, didn't expect that to happen with this show. Okay.
This show really made you tear up, huh?
Yeah, man, those episodes get you kind of. A couple of the seniors were leaving, and the reason that it was like getting to me is because all of the other members of the club got together and they made some like really sentimental things for them to take with them. They were just like, yeah, check it out. This is a sample of all of the different dirt that we have collected together from boring and stuff. Here's that. And
you
like
over dirt.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fucking thing with this show. That's the thing with anime. It makes you care about shit that you would never fucking care about.
You talk about don't even fucking care about Kim's Convenience at all. I hope she's okay, honestly, dude. I really hope she's not. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
You got this, dude. I believe in you. So yeah, it was really good. They had like a photo album that they gave her and all these other things, or them, that they gave them all these different things. And yeah, it was emotional. But then they bring in new characters like almost at the end of the show. And one of them is a person that graduated. It's their younger sister. And she's also into geology shit. But she is into like mystic rocks and like fortune telling with rocks and minerals and shit. So that was kind of cool to be like, well, very different way, instead of just like, oh yeah, we're looking into the facts and science. It's just like, or like it could be used for other shit too, guys. It was kind of funny. And then they introduced another character that instead of being into any of that shit, since they were kind of just like earth and space science after school club, she was into meteorology. So she was into the weather and whatnot, and that played a little part in like how they are able to see the sky at night. It depends on the weather, and the weather affects the earth more than you would expect. So all of them are like arguing like, no, this shit's really important. And then the new president, who is the like geology person, she's just like, and it's really important too, and I can't come up with any reasons why it's really important, but it just is. While everyone else is like, yeah, the weather's incredibly important because there's global warming going on and we need to try to reduce that. And it's important to monitor for like farming and all these different things. It's like, it's really important to see like what's going on with the sky and stuff, to know what else is out there. It's important that we understand like how life and our universe works, and we could send satellites up in the sky. That's how we can communicate with each other, is all this shit. And the minerals girl's just like, it's fucking important. And they're like, yeah, we use a lot of like minerals and stuff in order to create everything. That's pretty important. I just really had a good time with all the different dynamics of the characters. Even seeing who I'm going to call the main character. She was a very ditzy girl and seemed like she was going to be kind of like spacey. Seeing her be a very capable person that had a really fun personality behind her, excel at this study, and eventually it ends with them going to a special project where they can actually try to see an asteroid or a meteor coming down, and like seeing new data about that, and trying to discover one. And in spoiler territory, in great anime fashion, they of course do not find a new asteroid. Instead, they find something that was misleading. It was like data that was weird to interpret, and they cross-referenced it with a bunch of other data, and it was already something that had been discovered. But that whole act of like looking for it and whatnot, they were like, we can fucking do it. There's a chance out there for us to find a new asteroid and to like really do that. And it just showed that connection and that bond between the characters throughout the show. And it was a really good fucking cute girls doing cute things time. And if you're looking for something that's just like a nice chill cozy fucking time, woo baby, check out Asteroid in Love, because it was a great show. Doga Kobo knows how to make amazing eyes too. Fuck, dude.
Because you were talking about tearing up or whatever, and in space, I forgot you and I also watched Steven Universe Future. Like, it ended, we finished it.
Oh fuck,
how did we forget that?
Ooh. Well, because there's been a lot of important things going on. I watched a bunch of anime and stuff. Yeah, Steven Universe Future. Steven Universe is just fucking over.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was hard. That was really hard day.
Yeah, it was rough, dude, because you're watching it and you're expecting it to end in a way that's like a kind of clean wrap up way, and it's not exactly that. But
it's kind of like, open.
Yeah, and I really liked that. I thought that they did such a good job at being like, hey man, everyone has problems, and if you're a helper out there, like, you still need help. You can't just constantly take care of other people. It's important to realize who you are, and it just had all these different messages that were great, important things for a lot of different people to get to see in like a form of media. Like, it expressed things in a different way.
It was funny though, because you're like, oh, they're giving each other dirt, and like you were tearing up. And I was like, what? I feel like I teared up this week too. Why did I tear up? I was like, oh, that's right. One of my favorite shows in the world ended forever, and I am fucking destroyed. Good show. People check it out.
Good times.
Yeah. All right. Next thing.
Somali and the Forest Spirit, made by the studio Satelight. They've done Fairy Tail, Log Horizon, White Album 2, not 1, 2. So we don't know shit about it. So here's the thing with Somali and the Forest Spirit. You start the show. It's kind of cute. It's got a very chilled out, like lullaby kind of sounding intro. It looks like you're going to go on all these different adventures and like see a bunch of cool creatures and lands and whatnot. It's a show about this little girl, this little human girl that was found in the forest by this forest golem who protects the forest. And he is trying to return her to her parents or to whatever humans there could be and get her back to her correct life. She winds up making an impact on this golem who has never had emotions. And he winds up really caring about her. And she calls him dad. And it's a sweet little time. And then it gets really fucking dark a goddamn lot of the time, guys. The end of it ends in a very like... It's as positive as it can be, kind of way. It led into, this is going to be dark. This is going to be like a sad end. And then you're like, but they wouldn't do that though. I don't think so. That would be like really weird and fucked up. And they didn't do that. Thankfully, it all worked out. But yeah, it was a great show. It did have some adventurous elements to it, but for the most part, it was, you're getting to learn a little bit about the world while watching a couple of characters care about each other. It had some really unique looking animation and styles, and I had a really good time with it. When it got dark, it got into territory of like, this is maybe too dark for what the show is, and I like that, but it surprised the hell out of me. Very, very good show. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Personally, it was like, it's not for everyone kind of thing, Yeah,
I know. Yeah, no, I feel it. I think the thing I didn't like about it was like the way it looked. But you seem to talk about it a lot about like how this story was developing and it would get dark. And I'm a huge fan of like shit getting dark, like Made in Abyss, which I didn't know what it was when it started, and then like shit just got like fucking horrible, and I was like, what is going on? So it did give me like those vibes whenever you were talking about how you're like, dude, fucking bird people, it's fucking horrible, oh my god. I was like, dude, calm down, tell me what's going on. And you would tell me, and I'd be like, that sounds like the worst thing in the world.
That's fucking horrible. You're right. Yeah. By the way, totally out of regular podcast context, but you have been looking like shit for a while. I don't know
you
if
do
you
too.
look bad.
Yeah. No, you look horrible. Cool. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Good.
Since the beginning, you've looked like shit.
Really?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay, great. I don't know what's going on with the video, but it's been getting grosser.
I think it's just like there's too many people online, because I'll tell you something, my Zoom experience sucks ass now. School is so fucking tough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like the playback, like he'll play a video, be like, hey, let's check this out, and like he'll play it and I don't see anything, and I have to be like, hey, am I fucking up? And like I'll put in chat like, hey, think you need to refresh your stuff, and he does, and it plays okay for a bit, and then it just goes back to shit. I just think there's too many people online right now, and I can't really do anything about it. Trip, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it.
Well, I'm glad you're here to explain things to me, because I didn't
You're welcome.
know. I just have to figure it out. I just have to know.
It's okay.
Anyways, Darwin's Game. You want to tell me about that? It's made by the studio Nexus. They've done things that are very similar to it, such as Comic Girls and Granbelm, which is getting more similar, and Chivalry of a Failed Knight. So Darwin's Game.
I don't think I've heard of any of those things. Have you ever heard of those things?
Yeah. Okay, so Comic Girls, I watched a little bit of. I don't know if it was based off of something, but it was those girls that went to like this weird ass little cottage and did comics together, and they all specialized in different comics. So one of them was like a four-koma artist, one of them was a shonen artist. Yeah.
That one sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was just like a cute little slice of life, cute girls doing cute things, and it was all comics.
Okay. Is that the only one that you remember?
Granbelm is the one about the the girl that goes to like another world, and then all the people there are these like half-sized mech magicians. It was like a few seasons ago.
Okay, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, she goes there. It's like a smartphone thing. She's like, "What the fuck?" And then she's inside of this weird ass, dilapidated ass castle. She's walking down.
I remember that one.
You do? Yeah. Okay. So you remember Granbelm. And then Chivalry of a Failed Knight. Now I know the name, so I know it, but I don't know why I know it.
Okay, that's pretty good, man. I'm surprised because I literally like never heard of any of those.
As I go through all the different names, I'm like, well, what should I mention here? I see some that stand out at me, and I'm like, why does that stand out? And then when I click on the picture, I'm like, yeah, that's who you fucking are.
Okay, so Darwin's Game is a survival anime, and I was looking really forward to it when it first got announced. I told my friend Lester Cal to read the manga because he's really good at reading through manga really fast, and he came back to me.
It up.
It's disgusting.
Dude's an animal.
Consumes it, but he got back to me and he was like, "Hey man, yeah." He told me like the highlights. He didn't like spoil anything for me, but he said he liked it. There was interesting things because there was like powers elements to it, and that I should check it out. So when it did come out, I was like super excited. The first episode was a hour long, right? It was like episode 1 and 2 put like back to back.
And I watched that shit because it's my job.
I did too, and I'll tell you something. I don't think it was like a good idea, because after watching the first episode, I was like way less interested into watching it. But I was like, I'm gonna keep watching it. Like I decided I'm gonna keep watching it. But the first episode being an hour long, I wasn't a fan of. But I will let you know, because the first episode was an hour long, there are only 11 episodes. So there aren't 12 like a normal season. They just cut at 11, which is good because
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Because by the time I got to episode 11, I was just like, I was sitting there being like, oh man, I can't watch another episode of this. Like it'd be really cool if this was over. And it was over. And I was so fucking stoked. The show's not bad. It's just like not super great. Like I enjoyed it because I like survival animes. It's it's usually like people get put in like fucked up situations and they have to like fight for their lives, and like they team up with people. You become attached to people. People die. Our main character always seems to have to figure out how to get out of whatever situation they're in. His power was he was able to duplicate anything he touched, kind of like the girl from My Hero, because she can make stuff, but she has to understand it.
Yeah, she has to fully understand that, so she's always reading and being a fucking nerd.
So like his power is kind of like that, but like he can't make things too large. Like he couldn't make like a helicopter like if he wanted to. But if he understands like the mechanics of like a gun, he could like make a machine gun and like a handgun or like a taser, like things that are like more reasonable. But I'm assuming because it's an anime and he's the main character, he's going to get really good and learn how to make really crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
So like a lot of these shows, the main character always seems to like not really be for whatever game they're in. They're always very anti the game. It's very like, I'm like, very reminiscent of Hunger Games or Battle Royale, where like the main character is there to kill other people and they're like, I don't want any part of this, right? So our main character also happens to be part of this game, doesn't want to be killing people, but he has to kill people to survive, right?
Them's the ropes. So you got to do that, man.
It's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because it's such a trope of these type of animes, or just this genre of, this battle royale survival thing, where the main character is a good guy and they can't bring themselves to do bad things. That being said, I also feel bad about being like, well, I want a main character who's just down to murder everybody, because then that's just a bad guy, So
yeah, then you look at something like Future Diaries and you're like, you fucking knew what was up.
Yeah.
Or like Eden of the East, where it kind of flips that whole thing on its head.
Yeah.
If you change the context, different characters work out better.
Yeah. But in this one, it's like it's not like breaking the mold or anything. It's very paint by numbers.
It's playing it safe.
The deal. Yeah. And in this one, like I said, I mentioned earlier, people have powers. Like it's this app on your phone called Darwin's Game. They open it and they become part of this online game where you're given, they call them sigils, which are like their abilities. People have wild ones, like somebody can like control water and freeze it. Another person can like they can teleport. One person, and then some people have really lame sigils. Like one guy can tell when someone's lying to them or telling them the truth, like a lie detector. And like I said,
super cool. But then when you realize all the other people, you're like, this is not going to be helpful in a life or death situation.
And in the show, they'll sometimes make it helpful, like they'll like write it into the story so it is helpful. But in reality, like if I were a part of this game and my power was to tell someone's lying to me, fuck that. What's the point? Like you're not gonna win, right? Anyways, the main character gets a group of friends eventually, and he like makes a guild like you would in the game. What are they fucking called? They're called like the Midnight Ravens or something like that, or the Dawn Ravens. It's something really fucking cheesy. It gave me like vibes of, remember that, I don't think you ever saw it, but it's on Netflix now. It's like Akiga Kill or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Akame ga Kill.
Akame ga Kill, yeah, because our main character does his first mission, people die, he feels the worst. He wins like what do they call it? A scavenger hunt, and he gets to meet whoever's in charge of the game, like the game master. And this is where I kind of got like, I don't know, I lost, or I don't really understand. I wanted to talk to Lesser Kyle about this, but he gets given, they called it like a privilege, where he gets to add something to the game. And people who've won in the past have added things, like one girl added, she's allowed to like make the Darwin's Game like a live thing so people can watch, and then she can like earn all the gambling from it, right? Another person added like a player versus player, but there's no death. Like if you can play PvP and then like not actually die, you just lose points or whatever. And he's like in charge of like a dojo, so he wanted to make it like it's like you can duel and not, you can get better and stuff like that. One guy asked for him to be allowed to like start like an insurance company. So like if you are part of Darwin's Game and you die, you can, I don't know, change over your points, so when you do die, your points get transferred to an actual person for money or something like that. Anyways, our main character wins, and I don't really understand it. Like his power, it's called something like, he calls it like, his privilege is called like all in, which allows people to like, kind of like in poker when like you're playing, like if I call all in, someone else has to call all in or whatever. So someone who isn't as large as the larger guild can like challenge them with all their points. If you were to lose and they just didn't have enough points, if you didn't have enough points, you would die. But if they had more points, they would just lose those points and keep living. So there was a guild called like the I don't know, the 8 or something like that. And they were like, they amassed a bunch of thugs, and so they had so many points that it didn't matter if they would lose, none of them would ever die. So he made this thing so he could like convoluted like challenge them to like a guild war and then beat them and kill them. And I don't know. At that point, I was just like, this feels a lot like they're like really hammering away at like the, fucking in-app free game purchase element, kind of thing. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And it was really like, it's really on the nose. By the end of it, his guild is super powerful. He's also trained super hard. He acquires the number 1 ranked player in China, or in the entire world. She's a Chinese chick, to like join his team. He starts like being okay with killing people, but only to like killing people to make them not play the game. So like he ends up like having a territory, and he's just like, hey, stay out of my territory. No one's allowed to play Darwin's Game on my territory, kind of thing, like a thug. And at the end, they were all like decked out in black, and they're like, oh, cool, we're the squad. And I was like, this really took a turn. And then the credits happen, and then after the credits, like the main character's like in a forest somewhere, and he's like, oh, where am I? Where's my team? And he goes, I'm gonna get you, Game Master, like kind of like setting it up for like a sequel. I really don't think there will be a sequel, because I don't know. It, like I said, it wasn't.
You don't think it
the
did
best.
Well enough? Yeah.
No, I don't think it did too great, and I haven't heard too many people like clamoring for it.
I haven't heard too many people stoked now.
At times, the animation was like not the best. but it was fine. It was like one of those things I could pop on and like turn my brain off and watch and stuff. I just wish it were better. I just wish someone would make like the best survival anime that I want. But obviously they're not going to do what I want. They're going to do whatever they want, and I just have to sit here and shut up.
Magical Girl Raising Project surprised the fuck out of me, though. That
was really good. Yeah, that's a great example of a show that like they do the app game thing or whatever, but it wasn't like they weren't like shoving it down your throat. Like it wasn't annoying at any point.
So well done.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're interested in watching Darwin's Game, go check out Magical Girl Raising Project.
Absolutely.
That show was great. The light novel is also really good.
Like I said, I mean, if you like this kind of genre of show, this rival anime, check it out, because we don't really get too many of these that often. I feel like they were around a lot more. Now everything's an isekai, so if that's what you like, watching isekai. But this one is like, it'll be far and few between before we get another survival anime. So yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So that's why I watched it. I stuck with it, even though I wasn't like super in love with it. But I was like, hey, this is the thing I like, even though it wasn't the best. So
see, and I fucking hate battle anime. You know what? You know what I like?
Cute girls doing cute things.
No, I like isekai.
Oh, do you really?
So I want to talk about Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Made by Silverlink. They've done Kokoro Connect, Non Non Biori, and A Sister's All You Need.
They've done some bangers.
They've done wild shit. I really like Kokoro Connect. I really like Non Non Biori. Both very different kinds of shows. But Bofuri is kind of a cute girls doing cute things mixed with an isekai. And it winds up being really cool, actually. So if you like games, this is more like geared towards you. Or I guess like RPG games. This is more geared towards you because you understand it a little bit more. And they don't really they don't make it super over explained for like each RPG element in it, right? So essentially, main character is this girl that's not very familiar with video games, but her homie is just like, yo, dude, play this game with me. It's going to be fucking dope. So they start like New World Online or whatever the fuck it's called. And when they go in there, she's like making her character on her own. Her friend had to study that night. So she's like, whatever, I'll just kind of set it up and I'll get my character going and check it all out. And she sets up her character, and then it asks like, all right, so at level 1, you get to choose like your stats and like what kind of a person you're going to be and all that. So she's like, okay, I think it would be cool to use a shield. And then I just don't want to get hurt. So I'll take a shield and then I'll max out all my defense and vitality and stuff. So she maxes all that shit out. And then she can't move very fast in the game. She walks at like a snail's pace. So right away, it introduces you into, all right, so she's a fucking weird-ass character, and she's got to make up for that. And as it goes on, she makes up for it by being very creative, not on purpose, and stumbling into a lot of good shit. So it's just her coming across like, oh, how can I defeat this? And similar to Rising the Shield Hero, to where he can't get hurt by these little-ass monsters, so he just lets them, like, chew on him, and he throws them at people in order to hurt them. She instead lets monsters attack her, and it like builds up her resistance stats and whatnot, and she eats monsters and gains powers from them and all this different stuff. So she winds up fighting this like Hydra boss, but she has a ton of acid resistance, so she builds it up enough for her to like be able to go up to this boss and climb on it, and she doesn't have any like good attacks at that point, so she just eats it and like bites it and eats it a shit ton. It's fucking monstrous. And from that, she gets a super fucking good set of armor, like right off the bat, that she probably shouldn't have. And it's overpowered as fuck. And she just keeps finding all these overpowered as fuck things, playing the game like a fucking psychopath. She accumulates other fucking psychopaths to join her, and she's kind of inspired all these different people to play the game in weird ways. And then the whole focus is different events. So the first one is a PvP event, where everyone just has to fight each other, and whoever the last people are, like whoever's killed the most people or whatever it is, they wind up getting rewards. So she does wind up being one of those top people. People just kept coming at her, and because her ability was so fucking disgusting and broken, the developers had to make it worse or give it more limitations. And so she works with that in different ways with other people, and they form other events together where they have to go and like scavenge for hidden items all over the place. Eventually, they get enough powers and like all this other shit that they unlock a new area in the game. They release some like DLC or just some free like content, whatever it is. And now the new event is going to be, it's kind of like a capture the flag type situation, but it's only guilds. So Maple is the main character, and her guild is, it's somewhere between like 8 and 10 people. Can't remember exactly. And there are other guilds that are just tons and tons of people. But because Maple's guild is a bunch of fucking weirdos that do weird shit, there's one person that made these weird items that can allow you to like store spells in them. So she made a ton of different spells and put them all in here. And she just has this insane arsenal of spells she could use all at once. You got another guy that's another shield guy, and he's got some unique stuff going on. Maple can like protect literally everybody and also turn into a battle mech and a fucking demon. Sally is able to be insanely fast. She like pretty much went full agility, so she could just dodge shit like no problem and is really talented that way. You have a couple more characters that are a little bit less focused on, that do different kinds of sword play and magic type stuff. It was very interesting seeing all their different dynamics coming together for this like final fight where they're duking it out with a large guild, and they wind up defeating the captain. And it was a fucking awesome fight. And then after that, they're like, okay, what else can we do? And they realize, oh, we just have to kill a bunch of small ass guilds to prevent other guilds from getting their shit. And then there was a giant fight between two very large guilds, and they got in the middle of it, and they were like, nope, we're going to kill this one. They're like, all right, peace out, other guild. Like, we're homies now. And essentially they just make a bunch of different connections with guilds. And then it says season 2 coming soon. And I'm like, woo, baby, let's go. Season 2. Had a lot of fun jokes. Had some good action. It looked really good. It was great for somebody that likes video games a fucking lot. It was even better, probably. Highly recommend it to my RPG game boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I know you've heard me talk about it a lot, but it was good. And then I also wanted to continue watching 22/7, which is a show made by A1 Pictures, who've done things like Sword Art Online, Your Lie in April, and Erased. Unfortunately, this one didn't reach an enjoyment level of like any of those other shows that I mentioned. Sword Art had me like really high until the first arc ended, and then it went down after that. Erased is incredible, and the other show I said is also I already forget what
Your Lie in April, which is a show that I really like, but you didn't watch. Yeah,
which it hits that point for like certain people, and I didn't watch it, so I can't say anything. But 22/7 is a show about these idol girls that get like mysteriously invited to this whole idol project. None of them were idols except for one who was kind of like an aspiring idol and wasn't anything serious. And then they all come together and they are told to do these tasks from a wall. It just tells them to do specific things. And essentially it's like a slice of life anime that's pretending to be like it's something more. And it was okay, but I felt like because it was like, the wall's mysterious, guys, it's some fucked up shit's gonna happen. It's fucking weird and mysterious, and then nothing really that fucked up happens. It's all just different commands from the wall to do different things. Like, oh, you have to go and do a photo shoot. This person's gonna be the front person in the band, like whatever. It was fine. There were some really good episodes in there, and they did do some pretty good character development and emotions at the beginning. And it got worse as it went on. I never particularly cared about the music, so if you are a big fan of like J-pop idol type music, this might be it for you. But the lyrics were pretty depressing, which I thought was interesting. Like, our main character chick is clearly not like super happy when it starts out. She's just like a depressed person. She's just doing her convenience store job or whatever. And then they make her the lead in the band, in a group, whatever they call idol groups, I guess. And her lyrics are very like sad and depressing and shouldn't. I don't know, just not like a song and dance type thing. They're like, I wanted to give up hope and just like, yeah, fucking everything sucks. And, I almost did give up hope and it's like, yeah, it fucking sucks. But I didn't, and I kind of wish I did. And you're like, okay. It was weird.
It's pretty funny.
This fucking J-pop group. Anyways, I liked it. It wasn't great. Don't recommend it to people, honestly. It seemed like it was going to be better than it was. And look, man, there were points where they would animate things fully, and there are other points where they do that fucking idol shit where everyone's 3D and they're all dancing in 3D, and the quality goes down. I don't know if it's because they have worse 3D animators or if it's because they weren't able to get the job done in the time that they had and the studio wouldn't let them like spend more time on it, or what the deal is. But I feel like that happens pretty frequently in idol anime, and gotta say, man, it's not my jam. So I watched the whole thing though.
I don't know. Maybe it's cheaper that way because they're all doing the same dance moves. You animate it once, you put it on a different rig.
That's the thing. They were all doing different dance moves and stuff.
Really?
Like, yeah, that's I think why they do it. It's still cheaper. I think that's why they do it.
I don't know. But I mean, there's a lot of idol shows out there, and it surprises me that they keep getting made. But yeah, it is that weird thing where like for some reason, whenever it's time to perform, everything just turns 3D. It's maybe even like maybe the Idol Pony show, did it also do that? Where it was time for like, did they go 3D?
They weren't idols.
I thought they were idols. I thought they were these racer girls who were also like pop idols, weren't they? Or one of them was. I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever. Who cares? I'm glad that you finished the show.
They just raced. I don't know.
I am.
But yeah. Thank you.
Super bummed.
Commend me for it.
I am super bummed that nobody
died. Nothing crazy happened. Trust me, I was bummed too.
I was hoping so bad that the wall was like some demonic satanic thing where it's just like, no, feed me blood.
Here's the fucking spoilers for the last episode.
All right,
yeah, so they all get back together because they I don't know, they
break up the band.
They break up the wall says, hey, disperse, and then a month or two goes by, or 3, and then they all show up again to the place that they used to be where the wall is, and they're just like talking and chilling or whatever. And then I think the wall churns out some other command. They were like, fuck you, wall. And the whole building is shut down. Like, it was a giant business. It was a studio and stuff. And there were a ton of different floors that were all occupied. But the whole building is like closed off. So like, fuck you, wall. And then they attack it and wind up breaking a piece of it off. And then they break more of it off. And then it reveals that there's a room behind it. And then they go in that room and it's all these like computers and it's like a command center. And it's like, all right, so some fucking executives were in here doing weird shit. That's not exciting to me, but whatever. And then they go up these stairs and they perform a show because one of the last tasks that it said is like disband the group. And then it said, don't tell the group, but they're going to get back together, and don't ever let them know that this is something that we told you to do, but we're going to get all the fans here and you're going to make it happen, and it will happen, and they will come here because the wall knows everything. And they went up and they performed a show, and it was all right.
That's not as good as, the wall telling them to go kill a bunch of people. That would have been dope.
I thought it was going to get fucking crazy. I thought they were going to do some like Suicide Club type shit where it's just like some viral videos of these cute girls being like, all right, guys, we're going to kill ourselves. Yay. And then they would like jump off of a building together. Mm-hmm. But it was none of that.
It's a bummer. It's a real bummer, honestly. That could have been super cool. All right. Last one, yeah?
Yeah. So we're talking about Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, made by Studio Saru. They've done Devilman Crybaby, Lou Over the Wall, and Night is Short, Walk On Girl. Devilman Crybaby and Lou Over the Wall are both on Netflix. Go and check them out. And then Night is Short, Walk On Girl is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. And I think it's one of yours too, right?
Yeah, for sure. This director kills it. Anything he does, I'm so fucking stoked. Because, he has a very like similar like style and way he like animates things, or direction he does things, or like the way he tells stories. And he just, I don't know, man, because like fucking Devilman Crybaby and Lou Over the Wall, such different like genres
totally
of things.
And that's what I wanted to show with those different things is you have such a dark show juxtaposed with a very lighthearted, fun time.
And
then there's Night is Short, Walk On Girl, which is just a surreal experience that everyone should see.
And then this is the same guy as the Tatami Galaxy, right? That's
which
too?
I didn't want to put in there, just in that like little description, because it's a little bit old and you can't really watch it many places. Just High Dive. So shout outs to High Dive for having Tatami Galaxy, Powerhouse of Anime.
This is the show that that was brand new, that wasn't like a sequel, that was like hands down my favorite thing to watch every week. It was so fucking good. Like ridiculously good.
It came out of nowhere.
You know how you're saying like, there's the shows where like it's just cute girls doing cute things. This show is weird girls doing dope ass things. Yeah, this show is so fucking cool. Sick. Yeah.
Loved it. I mean, every second of it was a journey, and this is just a couple of girls that are hanging out in a little club room for the most part.
Yeah, so it's about these three girls, who want to make anime. So they start their club. They don't join the anime club. They start their own film club, and they start producing anime. And they're all the three of them are different, right? Like one of them is like super boss hard chick who like is about business. We've got the girl who's like a model idol. Her parents want her to be an actress because they're actors, and all she wants to do is be like an animator. And then we've got like super little girl who reminds me of like Noodles from the Gorillas, right? And she's
like a more like goblin version of Noodles.
Yeah. But she like fantasizes a bunch, like dreams. She's always daydreaming, and she's wants to go on adventures. And she learns that the way she can go on adventures is like creating anime. And they just kind of come together and like make amazing stuff. I will say that like for people who like shows where like there's plots and like maybe like a bad guy or drama and stuff, like this isn't like a traditional show where like you'll be like the goal is to win the tournament, or the goal is to it's if every episode feels like the story's progressing.
Experience, dude. Yeah. But here's the thing: every episode you go on your own little journey, and it feels like you start at square one and you wind up so much further. And there's just such a good sense of gratification and progress from it. Between the first episode where there is no club, they're not like anything, they all find each other and they all inspire each other, and they go and they like create like an example of what they want to do. And then suddenly you're like, fuck, this is good. And then it goes on to, okay, so how do we do this? And boom, boom, boom. You're just like constantly moving. It's incredible.
This is a show where like, we really couldn't like, there's not really much to spoil because, the point of them is they want to make anime, and they make anime. They make more than one anime, I think, throughout the entire season.
Make pretty good anime too. Let's be real.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the people making this anime are like professionals, but they kind of tone it down to make it look like it's done by these high school students who are very talented in their own right. But, they make stuff that like, myself at like a college level animator would be like, that's fucking insane. Like that's just like the level of commitment there, the amount of work they put in. It's really admirable.
So good.
And in every episode it doesn't have to be like a game breaking element to whatever their overall goal is. Sometimes it's just like, hey, we got to go around town and collect sounds. And while they're collecting sounds for something, they see a bunch of like one of them starts fantasizing and then daydreaming, and then we're just seeing a bunch of random stuff. Like they're playing like the floor is hot lava, and we're just like, I remember doing that. Like this is super fun. And then like I think I have like a few like favorite moments, but I think like one of my favorite moments is like literally like near I think it might be like the last bit of it. Like they're all sitting there like in their room, like watching the anime they made, and like the little goblin chick is like bundled up in a blanket, and she's like, man, like this is like, she feels like really good, for like for all the hard work they've done. And like, this show's fucking awesome. Like it for sure makes you feel good. It's definitely like a treat for like your eyes, because there's just so many cool visual things that go on. That's a great show. It's a bummer that I haven't heard too many people talk about it. Like I wish.
What? I haven't heard everyone. Oh yeah, dude.
No one's talking about it. Fucking sleeper of the season.
No. People love it because it is a realistic interpretation of girls. And when I say realistic, I mean it shows that they are all different kinds of people. Like, not just these fucking adorable girls from all the other kinds of anime that there are. And then on top of that, the music's insane. It's incredible. So many people that like weren't exposed to the band that does the intro have gone back to like their old music videos on YouTube and been like, holy shit, this is so good. And you can like go back and see all that shit. Easy Breezy is such a jam. But then on top of that, the intro animation is great too. And people immediately took notice. There are a lot of like reference photos and stuff, or reference sequences to like Drake, his music video, and Hotline Bling, I think it was, that they were doing special dance moves and whatnot. And it became this weird cross-cultural phenomenon where like a bunch of fucking nerds like us were checking it out. And then a lot of other people were also like, what is this unique thing? And of course, those people weren't able to watch it because it's just on Crunchyroll. But I feel like this is a show that's going to be able to reach a lot of different audiences the way that Devilman Crybaby was able to win over so many people because it was a Netflix show. I feel like that's going to be... If Netflix gets its hands on Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, then we are all good.
Yeah, it's like really good. And yeah, I think it has that ability to bring people over who aren't anime watchers to watch it, right? Like Devilman Crybaby, because it was like dark and gritty or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you have like a favorite character out of like maybe the three main girls or just the whole thing? So it took me a while, but I did have a favorite.
Business Girl.
I like Business Girl too.
Oh
Business
my God.
Girl's the fucking best. Dude, okay. So like I'm watching the show. She's got like, that triangle mouth. She's got like her glasses that are never like on.
So great.
Her fucking
just
face.
Always up. Yeah, and it's always rocking a one of these.
It's like she's got like this tone of speaking that's just like very like
just a very like all right, we're gonna get this done. Don't
and
fuck around.
She God, there's the bit where like we see her like eat noodles and she puts her hair up with her glasses and like almost like the six subtle things like the fact that her backpack is two giant red shoes like back to back.
Incredible. Like her character design is so good. And of course, like Little Gremlin is clearly the inspiration for like everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's amazing. I also love the idol girl.
I do too.
All of them are so good. And then we get introduced to like the sound girl, who I also fucking loved. Like they have a lot of little good characters. They have a lot of great side characters, and the interactions with like the whole show is like a fight with student council, essentially. They're trying to get the club taken down, and then they're trying to like
they want to get funds and
certain things. It's
the way they're acquiring funds isn't like the most appropriate way in the eyes of the school. So they're like just battling because like they just want like better equipment. They want a roof over their head or whatever. So they're trying their best.
And it was really cool seeing how they kind of gave these characters more personality than just like, I'm the big bad guy, but like they still were the big bad guy. And how they inspired so many other people from caring so much about these projects, because it was never like, yeah, this animation's amazing and that's why we care about it. It was like a bunch of different elements, like the way that they promoted things got people fucking excited. The way that they presented their animation got people excited, all the different elements. And the best part about all of it was like Business Girl has a plan for goddamn everything. So when they were
like we're 1,000 yen short, she's like, I got this, and she'll like make a call and she's like, all right, we got the money, don't worry about it. Like, what did she do? It's like, who fucking knows what she did?
But there's one point where she brings
the AC down.
Yeah, exactly. She's fucking with them, and she's like, the people that run it, like, I got some dirt on them. We're gonna get this working for us.
I was laughing so hard. Like to promote people to going to their theater and watching their show, she blackmailed the people who were in charge of like the air conditioning, so their theater was colder. It was like the dumbest thing in the world.
Oh,
it was so fucking great.
She's amazing. Just the whole show. Oh, you guys got to see it.
The episode with her backstory where she's like, we're seeing where she had, grew that mentality of being like, all right, this is how you make money. This is how you take care of yourself. Was like one of my favorite things ever, because we didn't need it. It's not like it was something that needed to be there. Like, cause I already really liked her. but you know, seeing her like be younger and like learn like, okay, cool, this is how you make a profit. And then seeing her like become friends with the like the gremlin girl, and like that was one of my favorite bits. And then also the bit where I think it's after they show their robot animation and they run into the parents, you know, and he's like, are you guys are friends? Like, we're not friends.
Oh, it's so good.
We're comrades. Like, that shit's so good. This show's so fucking good.
And of course, the style is insane. Like, there's nothing out there that looks quite like this.
It's like unique, you know, like it's like on the levels of like Mob Psycho. When I first watched Mob Psycho, I was like, this shit's ugly. Like, I don't like it.
But this and then felt beautiful from day one for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I looked at it, I was like, this looks different. And then the more I watch, I was like, this looks different. And like, I fuck with it like so hard. Like, it's just like, it's so nice. Not that there's anything wrong with like this current style of anime, because, you know, there's phases and stuff. You know, we used to have like
where we're at with
big bug guys, you know, like hair and stuff. You know, it evolves over time. And where we're at,
or
with
at least
anime
the
now,
popular shows would do those kinds of things. Yeah,
they'll seem to have like a similar style. And it's improved a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not watching Clanad as much as people clamor for it. Like, because they got those bug-eyed bitches there, but
it's really hard. Like, if Clanad had a different kind of story to tell, I would be fine with it. But the fact that it is a drama and I'm supposed to take it seriously, I have some trouble with it.
Yeah, I can't. No. So, and then like, you know, that's just the fact of the matter is like, it just
sucks because I'm a little bitch. Yeah.
What other show was super old that was like, what's the one where like it's something stars or whatever, blue stars or some shit like that?
Lucky Star?
Lucky Star, yeah. Where like it's an older show too. The animation style is like not the best,
but it's a comedy.
Yeah, but still, like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you get excuses for certain things, and
it was still hard to watch in my opinion. Just because I was like, oh man, I'm not used to the way this looks. But you know, seeing something different that's done well now is great, because it's just a change of pace, and it's good to not eat the same meal or, you know, watch the same thing over and over.
We should change shit up sometimes and not just watch a bunch of battle royales.
We don't get a lot of battle royales, you son of a bitch.
But we watch them again and again, nonstop, all the time.
No, man. Great show. I'd recommend this to literally anyone. This was my favorite of this season, without a doubt.
Oh, it was so good. Keep your hands off Aizoken. Watch it now. I don't have anything else that I want to say, because next week we're going to do our preview episode of all the different anime that there is this season, except for Sword Art Online, because we will not be able to watch that one in time, and I am not caught up at all, so fuck it.
I wasn't going to watch that anyways. Fuck that shit. I'm so behind. Haikyuu's different. I actually wanted to see that. I made the effort.
And it was, you were a little bit far into it anyway, so it worked out.
For sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, so next week during like you said, the preview, which should be fun. It's always fun to try to, you know, scrounge around and find where everything's at and be like, where's this show? And it's like nowhere. Even though, and then we go, fucking Netflix has it. We know Netflix has it, those tons of bitches. It's good. I'm excited. I don't know. Do you know off the top of your head like anything? The only thing I know that's big that's coming out in spring is Fruit Baskets. Do you have another one?
B&A?
Right. The Zootopia
brand new animal
with Trigger. Right. Okay.
I didn't know until I watched it, but Digimon is getting a reboot.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I didn't know what that was.
It's a reboot. It's a reboot. It's totally different, but it's the same.
Is it the same characters and stuff?
Yeah, it's Ty and Izzy, and then they see Matt at the end of the first episode. Spoilers for next week.
So I have to watch that. That's something I have to watch.
Yeah, you have to watch it too.
Because I saw that. I was like, oh, cool. It's like probably just like the new season of Digimon Try or whatever, you know. And I was like, totally ignored it. Fuck. Damn it.
Yeah, I've watched most things that are out. I think I'm like a couple of shows behind at this point. But it's been just a fun little tasty time watching.
I've literally watched nothing, so I'm super stoked to get into it.
Hopefully people are stoked about Gleipnir. I think that's how you say it.
Gleipnir?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Tower of God. People are losing their goddamn mind over.
Yes, Kyle's Tower of God.
People are also excited about My Life as a Villainess. There's some other shit out there. A lot of the things are just on Funimation and Crunchyroll. So if you got those two, you could stay caught up with the. You got a bunch of anime to watch.
So that's going to be next week. Should be fun. This episode and then next week's episode always usually take the longest. So if you want to spend some time with us, feel free. That's it, right? And then we can close the show now.
Let's wrap it
up.
Tired. Yeah,
cool. So if you like our theme song, check out Time Master on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can you find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to tweet at us, tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast benefit.
And if you want to send us an email, just say what up, like whatever you want. InstantRamenPodcast@gmail.com. And thank you guys so much for listening and joining us for the stream. If you were able to stick around the whole time, I've been seeing people pop in and out. It's been pretty cool. So see you guys next week when we talk about all the anime of spring.
Cool. This is bye from Juan.
Thanks for listening. This is bye from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.